I'm standing beside the picture of John Cooper toward the later end of his life, but I don't want to talk about that time of his life. John Cooper, an amazing man. You can look at the rest of his story. I want to talk about him and his sweetheart and their efforts to make it to Zion, to be married in Zion. They left, John Cooper and Marianne Lewis left England together to join with the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in Utah. They sailed together on the same ship. They started out in the Hodgett Wagon Company together late, at about the same time as the Martin and Willie handcart companies started out, and they traveled near them. As you know the story, it got very late in the season and the snow started. They were out of food to eat, and the rations had been cut to half what they needed to stay healthy and well. A rescue party had been sent from Salt Lake, but the pioneers that were on the trail really didn't know that, and they were at risk of dying. The day the rescue party got there, 13 died and were put in a shallow grave. People were just starting to risk dying so rapidly. And their wagon, John and Marianne's wagon, was unloaded at a fort, an old abandoned fort that was near Devil's Gate, and so that more people could travel in it. They asked for volunteers to stay at that old abandoned fort, Little Simon, and John Cooper volunteered to stay along with 19 other faithful, brave young men. Most of them, 17 of them from the company, and 3 of them from the rescue party, volunteered to stay and watch over and protect everyone's goods, because they were getting to the valley in the middle of the winter without even enough goods to hardly survive on. So he volunteered to stay there in the abandoned fort near Devil's Gate, and Marianne went forward in a wagon. Her feet were frozen. Those frozen feet troubled her for the rest of her life. And so they were separated, hoping to see each other again. The 20 young men that were left in the abandoned fort were left with 20 days worth of food and 5 months to wait. Amazingly, they survived. They survived by eating whatever they could find. The cattle that were left with them were dying of starvation, and so they butchered them and ate what they could of them. But by the time the rescue party arrived in May, they were boiling leather from their shoes, the rugs, the saddle straps, anything they could, and praying that their stomachs would accept it to nourish them. Well, John Cooper left England at 160 pounds and arrived in Salt Lake at about 80 pounds. They were rescued at the end of May, arrived in Salt Lake the 6th of June, and providentially, Marianne was there, and they were married in the endowment house just 2 days later on the 8th of June of 1857. What an amazing, amazing couple with a dream to be married when they got to Zion, the trials and troubles that they went through, and then for their dream to be realized, they raised 8 children together and moved to Fillmore. You can read more of their story at the links I'll post. This is John Cooper I wish I had a picture of him younger. This picture means a lot to me because it was in my parents' home as I was growing up and suffered from having the glass broke and everything else. And today I have it hanging in my home. It's hard to take a picture of it because with lighting, it ends up with the rounded glass catching every bit of light for everywhere. So I apologize for the poor lighting, but this is John Cooper, and you'll want to learn more of his story that I'll post with this video.